sponsoring the trust. We're sponsoring the people who run. They are our customers. We are saying thank you because through our ups and downs, many decided to stay with us. Let's make this race a jewel of Soweto. Let's use this race to show the world what we can do for the economy of Soweto.
Thousands of runners will gather at the Nazareth Expo Center. Some will run for glory, some will run for healing, some will run for those who can't.
Our challenge this year is everyone's used to the first Sunday of November being Soweto Marathon. And we were thrown a major curveball with the G20 summit. There is one last shift that I need to mention to everyone. That date was brought to our attention that it clashes with National Prayer Day, which happens at the Soccer City precinct. So our event cannot coexist on the same day for obvious reasons on the 30th. So we've decided to shift it to Saturday, the 29th of November.
To enter, I want to run my 10 kilometers. Am I going to be looked after?
Okay, so I think I'm going to, before I answer your question, I'm going to tell everyone what my bosses have told me. Is focus on the event and the logistics and don't focus on what's going on in the media space.
Okay.
First of all, what's going on shouldn't be happening the way it is. It should be done behind closed doors and not aired through the media.
Why can't we have the same with Soweto Marathon?
Well, we've always been having behind closed doors discussions, and it's not like that they're not happening. They've been happening, and if there are people that feel that they do not be part of the event, unfortunately, we cannot drag people to be part. But we've always have an open door policy to say, let us work together, let us discuss.
My name is Musibudi Whitehead and I shall be our program director this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us for the launch of the 2025 African Bank Soweto Marathon. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will get the program underway. It's not a very long program. We have a few key bits of information to communicate today, and then the bulk of which, because there usually are lots of exciting questions when we lead up to the Soweto Marathon, those will give an opportunity for our members of the media to have one-on-ones afterwards. And we have two gentlemen here with us. Victor, if you could just raise your hand there in the corner, and then here in front, and they will show us where to go outside. There is a media room for the television and another outside setting maybe for the print and social media guys if they would like to do some interviews there. So once again, a big thank you, and thank you so much for being with us here today. Reflecting on the Soweto Marathon, it is one that is steeped in history, and African Bank shares that very same history. This year, we are told they will be bringing out a new range of fabulous, I don't know if I should call it uniform or corporate attire, in celebration of 50 years of African Bank. And so she squints at me there because she's looking lovely. I'm going to ask a few of them just to come forward here, because when this sponsorship was first announced, I thought it was a wonderful meeting, a wonderful marriage of two. So those two ladies, you there wearing the golf shirt, please come forward. Yes, come forward. What's up? What's up? Yes, and then there was someone wearing a jacket on the throw. He got a straight. There was another one. Yeah, I won't call her up because she looks so nervous. Nomfundo. Sis Nomfundo. Woza sis Nomfundo ngesishweshe sakho. And Sbu as well. Sbu, please come in the middle here. So, and I want to point, and the reason why I'm calling them up is for a particular reason. Now there we go. If you look back in the history of the Soweto Marathon, thank you ladies, you can come a little bit closer. Stand there. If you look back in the history of the Soweto Marathon, and you'll often find that the colors of the race, unbeknownst to African Bank, have always been a little bit hint of green with a touch of blue. If we go back to the days when the Lesotho train was coming here to win the race, guys coming from the mountain kingdom, to win the race, the colors that we wore on our race t-shirts was always that green and blue. And then here came a bank who had never been involved with the race before, and their own colors were similar colors. This was not something that was planned. This was not something that was prearranged, but they came in and found that they fit. Thank you so much, guys. And because they fit so well together, and because African Bank's history is born in Soweto, a very historic place in South Africa's very storied journey towards freedom, that is the reason why African Bank remains with the Soweto Marathon, given its various. Now, for a moment before we start today's press conference, allow me to speak candidly. You will struggle to find a sponsor that will stay with the race through what the Soweto Marathon has been through, especially this year. Many would say, I've got money in the bank. In fact, I am a bank. So I don't need this in my life. And yet the Soweto Marathon still enjoys the backing of African Bank, who are here in numbers. There are a number of them here today. They are represented by Ubab Kumalo, who spoke when the sponsorship was initially announced a couple of years ago. I think that's something worth celebrating, because it's not every race that will enjoy this sort of partnership from a sponsor that has shown its commitment. So firstly, let us give a warm round of applause to African Bank. And so as we start things here, we've mentioned African Bank. The first person that will call up to have a couple of words with us today will speak on behalf of the Soweto Marathon itself as the spokesperson. But before we do that, let me just start by introducing everyone that is here with us today and giving them a warm round of applause. Now, firstly, I'll just ask him to raise his hand, and we've already made mention of him. He is African Bank's Chief Marketing Officer. Please put your hands together for Babs Musiso. To his left, he has been with the race for over a decade as the race director of the African Bank Soweto Marathon. And Danny Bloomberg will tell us a little bit more about what we can expect today. Please give him. Now, year after year, even if you go back to different administrations, one after the other, I remember when Tate Mashaba was still the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, in the pre-COVID era, we were called to this African Bank Soweto Marathon, and we were told that the city of Joburg is going to pull out all the stops to ensure that one day we reach 50,000 participants in this race, which was incidentally last year the largest single-day road running event in the country. And nothing has changed, because it still enjoys a lot of support from the city of Joburg, who also have given us this venue that we enjoy here today at the Soweto Theatre. Please put your hands together for our MC from the city of Joburg, Tate Tebogo Ngongo. You can see that he's a man who prides himself on fitness. When he comes to stage, you'll see his guns. And lastly, we'd like to give a round of applause as well, and a warm welcome this time to speak on behalf of the Soweto Marathon as their spokesperson for today's event. Please put your hands together for Prajabs and Tate Jabu Mbuli. In their absence, we'd also like to say thank you to Athletics South Africa's road running chairperson, Enoch Skosana, who can't be with us today. They are planning other events. And of course, Central Gauteng Athletics, they are represented by Mandla Khatebe, and perhaps he will join us as the day goes. So, let's start by calling Mr. Mbuli to come and say a few words. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I hope it's still the morning. Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Like Msibuli said, thank you very much, Msibuli. My name is Chapuli. I am representing the Soweto Marathon. And firstly, let me acknowledge as well the people that we are with, the CMO of African Bank, together with all the heads of departments from African Bank, and also welcome the MMC from City of Johannesburg, one of our partners, as well as all the heads from different departments and entities under the City of Johannesburg. The people that are here today, the people from the media, as well as in absentia, Central Gauteng Athletics, as well as Athletics South Africa, the World Councillors that are here as well, and the people that we have sleepless nights as well, the clubs of Soweto, being led by the race organizing committee that is comprising of, I'll mention these members by name, Tate Khadijiwe Sekano. Please wave Tate Khadijiwe Sekano. He is the chairperson of this race organizing committee. Tate Elliot Mutaung, Me Sibongile Maruta, I do not see her in the room. Tate Ishmael Mudutwane, Tate Caesar Pahlale, Kudi Mukwale, Tate Chokozane Mazibu as well, then Tate James Masilo. I do not see him in the room as well. And we are then being assisted by the number of clubs from Soweto that are ensuring that the sleepless nights are at least easier for us as well. We are only here to say to the members of the media, the members of the running community, that as Soweto clubs, we are ready to host the 2025 30th edition of the Soweto African Bank Soweto Marathon. And Danny Bloomberg, our race director, will talk more with regards to the logistics, the dates and everything. But we are assuring the running community that come the end of November, we will be ready to welcome you to the 30th edition of the marathon. And like Msibuli has said, a lot has happened this year, but we enjoyed and we appreciate the assistance and the gratitude that we've been getting from the sponsors, the main sponsor, African Bank, our partner, City of Johannesburg, the Southgate Mall as a partner as well, or a sponsor, and all other sponsors that are written in our pull-up banners there. So we appreciate every little assistance that we've been getting. So welcome to this, and let us enjoy the discussions, and we will meet later for the question and answer sessions. Thank you.
Rajabu, thank you so much. So Rajabu emphasizing that they are ready to host the African Bank Soweto Marathon this year, and talking to some of the members of the team there that will put on this show. Now, one key piece of information that I must share, or confirm with you, I should say, because it's already in the public domain, is that the date for this year's race is the 30th of November. So it is the 30th of November, moving away from the traditional first Sunday in November for the Soweto Marathon. And we'll hear a little bit specifically from the city of Joburg around what necessitated this date change. And then from Danny Bloomberg, he'll give us some of the logistics, what this means for us, you and I, the runners, as well as where we can enter the race. Now, we spoke about African Bank, and they first came on board in 2023. Remember that in the post-COVID era in 2022, the first time that the Soweto Marathon was organized after the pandemic, this race did not have a sponsor. In 2022, the race again, there were concerns about whether it would happen or not for different reasons then, specifically around the funds that would be required to stage it. Almost didn't happen and had to be saved by the Gauteng Department of what is now Education, Sports, Arts and Culture. And for that, we must go back to thank the administration of Ndate Panyaza Lesufi, because they came in at the last minute to save the race. But it was only a stopgap measure, because a race of this nature needs corporate backing, as do all the large races in South Africa, of which the Soweto Marathon is a part. So if you go back in history, you will know Old Mutual and many, many others that were part of the Soweto Marathon as the headline sponsor. In 2023 then, realizing that there would be a perfect fit between the two, African Bank signed on for what was the first year of a 3-year deal. Why did they sign on? Why are they still with this race? And what the future holds, let us give a warm round of applause to Bab Kumalo to come and give us a few words.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to acknowledge the MMC for the city of Johannesburg, the organizers, the spokesperson for the race, and the media that is with us, and everyone really who loves Soweto and loves the marathon and wants to see this beautiful event continue to grow. Last year I committed to running the marathon. I thought it was a stupid thing to do, but I think you put me on the spot, and eventually I did run 10 kilometers. It didn't kill me, so I'm still here. I'm hoping to run. You're alive. I'm alive. I'm hoping to run 10 kilometers, although I asked if they can't consider putting a 5-kilometer race in there. And I thought as a sponsor we had some muscle, but it seems that we don't. This year, African Bank turns 50. But in our 60-year history of the idea of an African Bank, which actually started here in Soweto in 1964, but the likes of the late Dr. Richard Maponya, Date Motonyane, and the many other businesses, including Epnet Mbeki, who was the only lady, female, businesswoman at that inaugural conference of NAFCOC that gathered here in Soweto to deal with the issues of the economy. And one of the resolutions was that they should start a bank for themselves, because the banks at that time did not cater for blacks. Today, money that is made in Soweto leaves Soweto. I know a few years ago it used to be on the very afternoon, but it probably circulates once in Soweto. If the economy of Soweto, the money that's made in Soweto, could circulate 4 times, it triples the economic value. This is a race about the people, but it's also a race about the economy of Soweto. That's so important, the township economy. We want money coming from outside of Soweto into Soweto. And that's what over 30,000 people who decide to run the race do for Soweto. That's what the many people that come to watch their families, their friends, running, participating, that's what they bring, economic value. Economic value drives the economy. It creates jobs. It sustains all of us. There's not a single person here that doesn't know a story of a relative, a family member, a friend who's unemployed. And it's things like this that change that trajectory. African Bank was founded because of economic challenges. Today, our country is faced with major economic challenges. No one is coming from outside to fix our problems. So we stay, and we fix them. In the 50-year history of African Bank, we've had many ups and downs. If there's one brand that can tell you about triumph and adversity, it's African Bank. Because we've been through it. So the question remains, why did we decide to sponsor the Soweto Marathon and change its name to African Bank Soweto Marathon? We're not sponsoring the trust. We're sponsoring the people who run. They are our customers. We are saying thank you because through our ups and downs, many decided to stay with us. Today, over 80,000 people sign up for an African Bank My World account every single month. You're welcome to clap. The majority of them here in Soweto, giving us a chance. So we say thank you to them. Because this is their race. The idea of this bank was born here. So our umbilical cord is here. So we're not going anywhere. Because we're here for the people. Every year there's an exhibition before the race. And we put up a board where people can write on sticky notes why they're running the race. If you can, take a moment to read those messages. Nothing else will inspire you more than the reasons why people choose to run this race. There are many races in South Africa. Many. But there's only one people's race. And it's the African Bank Soweto Marathon. So with that, I really want to thank the organizers, I want to thank the city, I want to thank the stakeholders, I want to thank the media. Let's make this race the biggest race on the continent. Let's make this race a jewel of Soweto. Let's use this race to show the world what we can do for the economy of Soweto. Because we are united and we want to see this race happen and grow bigger and grow from strength to strength. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much for allowing me to talk.
Thank you, Dr. Khumalo. And he's right, there is a lot of interest coming from further afield outside South Africa's borders just this week. And for those that are tuning in and watching this live on the Soweto Marathon's Facebook page, on the African Bank Soweto Marathon's Facebook page, you can ask all your questions there, because we had questions from afar afield as Zambia. Of course, people come from Lesotho, come from Botswana to take part annually in the African Bank Soweto Marathon. And we did have just this week questions from Nick Chibwe, who leads a brigade of Zambian marathon and ultra-marathon runners, saying, is the race taking place? Yes, Nick, it is taking place on the 30th of November, and it's taking place, as it always does, right here in Soweto. Now, when he mentions, by he, I mean Ubab Khumalo, why African Bank stay with this, I think it's important to note that there are a number of people that are looking for the Soweto Marathon and have continued to lend their support to the Soweto Marathon to succeed. The city of Joburg is, of course, one of them. And even on a personal note, I was thinking, don't want to be involved in this one. But, you know, my mother, if we walk, we can walk here 1, 2, 3 blocks to Dube, where my mother's family is from, and Pimville, And so I have an affinity for the Soweto Marathon that we have done for many years. And when he talks about t-shirts, who's still got a cotton t-shirt from the Soweto Marathon? I've got one here. Danki in that roto. Sleeveless with a tacky here like this. Purple stripe here on each side and white. Cotton t-shirt from the 2007 race. I still have one in my closet. My wife is asking me, why are you not throwing this t-shirt away? Or use it to wash the car. Don't touch my t-shirts. I earned this t-shirt by running hard on a hot day in Soweto. And I think that is the spirit of the race. And that's why everyone is here to make sure that this event succeeds. Now, what does the city of Joburg have to offer? What do they bring to the table, especially when we have thousands and thousands, in excess of 20,000 people running 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, and 42 kilometers? Well, let's hear from them. Please put your hands together for Ndate Tebogo Ngongo, the MMC here from the city of Johannesburg.
Thank you very much, MC, and also for your encouraging words. And good morning to everyone, to our leadership behind me, to Executive Mayor in his absentia, Section 79 Chairperson, Mr. John Mokome in his absentia, all the councillors present, executive from Sports and Recreation Department, executives and staff from Soweto Theatre, as well as Johan Joburg Theatre, Region D executives, and City of Johannesburg staff, and leaders of Soweto Marathon, our main sponsor, African Bank, all media entities, and everyone that take part to make sure that today's event becomes successful. Good morning, Soweto. It is an honor and privilege to stand here before you today in the heart of Soweto at the vibrant Soweto Theatre to launch the 30th edition of the African Bank Soweto Marathon. This is not just the start of a race. This is ignition of a movement that celebrates our heritage, our unity, and our unstoppable spirit. For 30 years, the People's Race has been more than a test of endurance. It has been a journey through the soul of our city, a journey that honors our past, celebrate our present, and inspire our future. As runners lace up their shoes and take to the street, they will pass through places that shaped our democracy. From Chris Hani Baragwan Hospital to Regina Mundi Church, from Walter Sisulu Square to Morris Isaac High School, Isaacson High School. These are not just landmarks, they are a living monument to courage, to sacrifice, and to hope. And right here, where we launched this year's race, the Soweto Theatre reminds us that Soweto is not only a place of history, it is a place of rhythm, color, of creativity, and of pride. As a city of Johannesburg, we are proud to open our streets, our hearts to these incredible events. Our teams are ready, our communities are ready, and our city is ready to welcome the world. Because this race is not just about running, it's about rising, it's about economic upliftment, social cohesion, social connection, and a healthy living. It's about showing what possible when we move together with purpose, with passion, and with pride. On Sunday, the 30th November, thousands of runners will gather at the Nazareth Expo Center. Some will run for glory, some will run for healing, some will run for those who can't, but all will run with heart. To every runner, we believe in you. To every supporter, we thank you. And to every partner and sponsor, we are grateful for your good commitment to this journey. Let us make this 30th edition unforgettable. Let us run with spirit of Soweto in our strides. Let us show the world that this is more than a marathon. This is a movement. The African Bank Soweto Marathon is the people's race, a race of resilience, a race of history, a race of pride. Let's celebrate it together. Let's run it together. Let's own it together. I thank you. Is Soweto.
Ndate Ngongo, MMC from the city of Johannesburg. Now, also we'd like to welcome, who joined us on stage, the chairperson of the Road Running Commission at Athletics South Africa, Ndate Enoch Skosana, and we'll give him the opportunity to say one or two words about Athletics South Africa, the mother body, in terms of road running, how the Soweto Marathon fits into that as one of the nation's most celebrated events.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
This is the people's race.
Good afternoon.
You have to smile. It's still good morning. I think good morning is the blessed words I can say. Thank you, MC. First of all, I'd like to thank for this opportunity, for the invitation, for African Bank Soweto Marathon. You know, when we get the invitation from the, I will call it as a national event under Athletics South Africa. The marathon is under national event on the ASC calendar. So we are so proud to have this event on our national calendar. From Athletics South Africa, we are looking forward to make sure that this race must be success, and then we are itching, especially in Africa, they must come and support this race, for the people's race, especially in Soweto, so that we can keep the history alive as you're going to celebrate the 30th of the Soweto African Bank Soweto Marathon, so that inside of the ASA Road Running Commission, we're going to support the race end of November, 30th of November. So we'll be here and supporting everything. And then I want to also urge that the social runner, they call them top runners, to come and support the initiative of this Soweto Marathon and celebrate together with the African Bank when they are doing their 50th celebrations. So on that way, I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
That is Kosana. Kosana wa Bloemfontein, so speaking more Sesotho. Thank you very much for those kind words from the Mother Body Athletics South Africa. And when he speaks about the need for using such events to not only unearth talent, and if you go back in the history of the African Bank Soweto Marathon, you remember that there were a number of development races which were funded in this part of the world by the proceeds from the race, which developed a number of stars who went on to perform at the highest level. And most recently, if you remember last year, if you look at some of those slides there, of course, Neheng Khatala was our female champion from the Mountain Kingdom. The men's race, a thrilling one, was won by Unalina Konkobe from Daung, now based in Klerksdorp. He came from behind to defeat Joseph Soweto. But you'll see El Rechalant, there he is. And El Rechalant, they ran up to about 39 kilometers, and recently on Monday morning in Tokyo participated at the World Championships over the marathon. And this last 12 months, this has been part of his journey to represent South Africa at the highest level. Now, what do you need to know? You've heard him mention top runners. That's what we call each other on the road. By the way, let me just clarify this thing once and for all, because we have Ndate Roto laughing here, the only one who has a sense of humor. Being a top runner does not refer to the time that you run or podium. Top runner is if you are running, we pass each other. Hey, top runner. Even if you are running like this, it's fine. We call each other top runners. The fact that you're in the race, even if they don't have a 5-kilometer event, means that you're a top runner. So you top runners want to know all the vital statistics for the race. How you can enter, what's there on race day, and what we can expect. Because when I enter a race, I'm looking for a good goodie bag. Please don't cheat me there when I'm using my money. And I want everything to be decked out at the water tables. So, to talk to us about the race and give us all the logistics, please put your hands together for race director, Mr. Danny Bloomberg.
Afternoon, everyone. To our sponsors, all of our partners, ASA, CGA, African Bank, members of the media, Soweto Marathon team, organizing team, good afternoon. Once again, it's an honor and a privilege to be standing here. I too get asked the question, why do I come back to Soweto every year? And I can say proudly that I have been involved for over 10 years. And Spoo, I can tell you there's been many issues that have happened over the years. But I think the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I want to thank our customer, the runner, for always proving, no matter what goes on from behind the scenes, they're always going to support this event and they're always going to come on race day. So I want everyone to give a big round of applause to our runners and for the support they show this event. So I'm here to give you all the logistics and all the information. So I think as part of our challenge this year is everyone's used to the first Sunday of November being Soweto Marathon. And we were thrown a major curveball with the G20 summit and the whole of the Soccer City precinct and the Nasrec precinct being in lockdown. We were instructed that our event cannot happen on that date. We then looked, it's not an easy fix, to find a date on the calendar. We then found the 30th of November as a solution, being the Sunday. So we were all systems go for the 30th, and there is one last shift that I need to mention to everyone. That date was brought to our attention that it clashes with National Prayer Day, which happens at the Soccer City precinct. So our event cannot coexist on the same day for obvious reasons on the 30th. So we've decided to shift it to Saturday, the 29th of November. So again, we're going back to our runners and saying, please bear with us. This was out of our control. We want the event to happen for you, for the people. And obviously our teams are working tirelessly and we've already started the work on the event. Just to remind you, there's between 1,500 and 2,000 volunteers that work with us on the event that we are going to start mobilizing and working with them to make sure that we put on a successful event and that we can move forward now and everybody knows that the event is happening, because I also get calls and WhatsApps at every hour asking me, is the event happening or isn't? I can proudly say it is happening. I can proudly say that the operational team has been hard at work, and we're going to continue to do what we do. And one of the other main reasons why I'm here is because I believe that this event will be the flagship event for our country and for Johannesburg and Gauteng. We've got everything that we need to make it the biggest and best event, and I think the work that we put in speaks for itself. I think last year everybody left feeling very happy and warm-hearted about the event. To enter, you can go to sowetomarathon.com. We are going to correct the dates that are on the site. We first wanted to make the announcement to the public, and everything will be corrected. There are various emails and call center numbers that you can contact if you've got any queries about that. And we look forward to seeing you on the 29th. That will mean that the expo will shift to 3 days. It will start Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with race day being on the Saturday. Once again, thank you everyone for your support, and we look forward to seeing you on the 29th of November.
Thank you, Jenny. So thank you, the 29th of November, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we are running wonderfully ahead of time. So we were due to be joined by defending champions in this year's race, but I am going to change things slightly around. They haven't been able to make it on time, so I'm going to throw two important men under the bus who can wear the hat of elite athletes, and hopefully they won't smack me, because I have worked quite closely with both of them in the past, and they can understand the importance that this means to elite athletes. And I think we have to labor the point slightly. You heard Danny mentioning that they do get messages. Now, a lot of those messages will be from the professional teams. I know, for example, that I was asked by some of the Nedbank runners, the one who won last year, for example, Unalina Konkobe, their team, they had geared their whole year towards him defending his title. But given that we are launching a little bit later than we usually do, and that the race has been pushed back now to the 29th, he has had to commit elsewhere. So those are some of the dynamics that we must understand, because when we watch it on TV, those guys, even the ones like Ntate now 46, there he is, Mixed Elite, are the guys that we watch for 2 and a bit hours, and for the women for 2.5 hours. Incidentally, the course record he's talking about is held by Shadrack Kemboy of Kenya, and Yvette Van Sale holds the women's record. So I'm going to call these two men quickly. Please, can we put our hands together for Mkhutswaka Ndate Martin Ngwenya from Next Elite. He can just come onto the stage there. I'm not even ask him one question. And the man alongside him from the Hollywood Athletics Club, Mr. Manfred Seidler. They will come up here because they understand this race well and will have some of their elite athletes here. I'll start with you, Manfred, because Neheng Khatala, who ran in your colors last year, won the women's race here at the African Bank Soweto Marathon. You know the history of this race and how storied it is for elite athletes, and because you talk to them in the beginning of the year and say, these are the races you're going to run for us, the big races. Where does the Soweto Marathon feature when you start talking to your elite athletes in terms of participation throughout the year?
Thanks, Mozibodi. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's a big race on the calendar for us. We built a team around the Soweto Marathon, African Bank Soweto Marathon. So the day change has been a challenge. It's been a challenge for the athletes to prepare. And it's a very big event for the club as well as for the athletes every year. Hollywood has been very fortunate that we've had back-to-back female winners, and of course Yvette holding the course record as well as the 3 fastest times for the Soweto, the African Bank Soweto Marathon. So it's a very big event for us, and building a team around this race in particular is very important to us.
And building a team involves considerable investment. You're flying some of you guys up from KZN to be part of it, from all over South Africa to travel to be part of the African Bank Soweto Marathon. Are you able to give us an idea? Have you had time now with all the changes to consider who comes and just why you invest in a race like this?
To answer your question, who comes? To be confirmed. Why do we invest in an event like this? It's a massive event on the national calendar, not just because of the fact that it's broadcast on TV. It's a big event in its own right, and it's been that for decades already. To be crowned the African Bank Soweto Marathon champion was a huge prestigious honor for the athlete, as well as for the club for whom they run for. And that's why you'll see that the major clubs will always bring athletes to this event.
Spot on. Spoke to Neheng Kgathala after her victory last year. Now, this is someone who's been to the Olympic Games representing the Mountain Kingdom. She went to the Commonwealth Games and returned with an 8th place. But she said she was never famous until she won Soweto. When you win a race of this nature on TV, the world changes, and of course it'll be live on the World of Champions. To you, Mokgotsi, we heard him talk about the history of the African Bank Soweto Marathon. You know it well, and some of the runners, there he is again, he appears, Stebu Teboselo, who won this race back then, running for Toyota. Before he was Mr. Price, next elite. Talk to us about the history of this race. Specifically, let's talk Mr. Price, because Mr. Price has always brought the very best athletes to participate. Mr. Price being now Max Elite, where you are the elite manager. Matthew, you can give him that one. Yeah.
Greeting everyone. Thank you so much, Mokgotsi, for asking that question. Firstly, let me claim this. We, as Mr. Price, the record holder of this race. And luckily enough, Manfred is also on the ladies' side, record holder. Yeah, but we don't. Let's see this year what's going to happen. Like you said, Soweto Marathon is been one of the races that made our athletes famous, and we having a rich history with Soweto Marathon and the Mr. Price running club at that time. Now it's changed to Max Elite Running Club. But what I can say, this is one of the races in our club that we are making sure that our athletes are prepared and are preparing very well for this race. For even after we heard the story that the race might happen, that is not happening, and I was in Lesotho when this thing was happening, and I was with the guys planning for this race, sitting down, and they were like, "What's going to happen now?" Because the club is involved around the Soweto Marathon. If you know the history of our club, and we invest so much in this race, because we are bringing normally we bring about 15 or 20 athletes into this race, the elite athletes. So you can imagine the preparation of those athletes when they prepare for the race, and it's taking them about 3 to 4 months to prepare for the race. And yeah, there is so much investment in the race, but again, it's for us, it's worth it. It's not like we are invested in it because of just, this race is one of the special race in Africa, because we can run all the races, like you said, that Neheng Kgathala said, after she ran Soweto Marathon, and everyone was saying, you are famous. No one will forget. Even if you go to the township and you ask someone about this race, they will tell you, and they can even remember who won the race in certain years. So this race, to be honest, for us, it's a big race, and we are looking forward this year. Definitely the Max Elite team will be bringing the strong team for this year.
Lastly, we heard Inos Kosana, chairperson of road running at Athletics South Africa, talking about the importance of races such as the African Bank Soweto Marathon, with a winning purse of 250,000 rand, R250,000 rand, how that's important for athletes to feed their families. Now, the professional clubs, shall I call them, also would augment that with bonuses for victory. Say, win bonus. You don't have to get into the numbers, but talk to us about that, because I know you guys go to the extra level to say, right, you can win other races and take the money, but if you win Soweto, here's the bonus.
Yeah, like you are saying, Musibudi. Soweto, like I've said, that is one of the biggest races in South Africa. So you can have all your races that are paying good money, that are doing whatever, but all the clubs, they're putting more money into Soweto Marathon. So we are paying a big incentives in terms of the Soweto Marathon race rather than the other races, to show you that this race is so much important to each and every club in South Africa, not only in Mr. Price or the Max Elite Running Club, but to all the clubs, the elite clubs that are here in South Africa. I can tell you now that they are putting a lot of incentives or bonuses to pay the athletes to run this race.
Beautiful. Let's leave it there. To these two gentlemen, let's give them a warm round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for indulging us. They will confirm at a later point, maybe in the next coming weeks, who will be here to run for their various clubs. Thank you. Now, our last order of business here before we move, and we are 55 minutes into this one, so we are just about on time, is we are going to ask for the members of the media, specifically those few seated at the back, some questions that everyone has been asking. They've been in the public domain, and we already heard Bab Khumalo already answering one of the most important questions, because there have been a few accusations flying around. He's answered quite eloquently, I think, why they remain with this property called the African Bank Soweto Marathon. We'll move then to the city of Joburg in particular, and Danny Bloomberg, both of those two, because runners as early as this morning on the various forum I'm on are asking, okay, I see the race date has been confirmed as the 29th of November. Can I enter the race? Will I be safe? Because perhaps some disgruntled members have been saying some quite worrying things in the public domain. So I'll start with you, Danny. I want to enter, I want to run my 10 kilometers. Am I going to be looked after?
Okay, so I think I'm going to, before I answer your question, I'm going to tell everyone what my bosses have told me. Is focus on the event and logistics, and don't focus on what's going on in the media space.
Okay.
First of all, what's going on shouldn't be happening the way it is. It should be done behind closed doors and not aired through the media. So what I want to say to the runners is the same thing I'm going to say what my bosses said to me. Focus on race day, focus on your training, come out and enjoy race day with us like you always do. There's going to be a nice experience for the race collection or expo, which information will be sent to all the runners, and forget about everything else that's going on. Focus on the bigger picture here, the prize, the race day. And for me, I think it's the same. I've got to focus with our team on the operations, otherwise all this other stuff is going to drain our energies. To answer your question about the safety, we don't take things lightly. If there are any sort of comments about certain things that might happen on race day, we will look into that as a race. We will beef up our security through JMPD, through SAPS, through our security company. We will have reaction vehicles on the route, and we will ensure that the runner journey or experience is the same as it's been over the years, if not better. And we urge everyone not to focus on all the negativity. Let's now put that past and let's move forward with the 29th of November.
Okay, thank you, Danny. The last one then goes to our MSC, Dating Kongo. Just because I saw you nodding your head as he was mentioning the Johannesburg Metro Police. Of course, they are released by the city of Joburg, and perhaps you can share a little bit more. The usual, you always pull out the stops when it comes to Soweto.
No, thank you very much, MC. What I can say, I want to guarantee our athletes and our residents that as a city of Johannesburg and as the government, we will protect you. And also, we have a history of hosting international events. All of them, they went successfully. Recently, last week, we hosted U20, and we are prepared, we protected them, hosted successfully, and also we are preparing to host G20. So in terms of security, no one is going to threaten us, and we'll make sure that becomes successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we leave it there for this portion here. We are right on time, making it 1 hour to complete this launch of the 2025 African Bank Soweto Marathon. Vital statistics, 29th of November. Yes, you that's there watching on our African Bank Soweto Marathon page, because there are some of them sending us messages. Thank you for all of those. Yes, 29th of November. That's point one. Point two, he opened it when he spoke about the t-shirts. Well, we expect a lovely t-shirt, but the t-shirt reveal is coming soon to a digital site near you. So keep your eyes focused on that. We will be revealing that in due course, and you can go ahead and enter the race. It is open right now, 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, and of course the full 42-kilometer marathon. You can enter the African Bank Soweto Marathon. For those of you that are here with us at the Soweto Theatre, thank you so much. You've been an attentive crowd, and we invite you to stay with us for eats and drinks outside. And members of the media, you will then be directed by Ant there and Victor here for Q&A session, which will be happening outside. Before we say goodbye, though, and give a warm round of applause, let's stop for a photo opportunity for all these three that are on stage. And indulge me again, because please, and others come up. Let's flank them with the wonderful African Bank regalia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
I mean, you've done the route, you already told us that you are halfway. What are the expectations from you, looking at the route and the weather at this time of the year, now that the race is a bit later?
I think the weather is going to be of concern to us, the heat. It's a lot hotter towards the end of November. There's also potential of rain. It's quite a rainy period as well, so we might be hit with a bit of rain. But that we can't control. We're going to control what we can control in terms of having enough hydration, making sure the water's cool, giving the runners that Soweto experience that we're starting to build and maintain.
Then also just High Rocks. They've just announced that the event will be happening on the same 2 days at the same venue.
Yeah, we had already booked Najat for that weekend. Those two events from what's been told to me, can coexist, so we are aware of that, but that's not going to affect our date.
Looking at you and being with this race for so long, being part of it, what are the highlights in the past editions? Forget about the shenanigans that have been happening with the organizations and all of that. I mean, Denny, everybody probably knows you within this space. What have been your highlights looking into this?
I think it's building the event profile from a runner perspective, from a profile perspective, and bridging the gap between some of the issues that we've had over the years. People always say water, but when I've been involved, there hasn't been water issues, and there's no calls on a Monday morning with water that's run out. And I think it's slowly we're getting the confidence of the runners who are experiencing our events. I mean, last year was a good showcase for us, and again, we want to try and build on what we've done and what happened last year.
I'll tell you why I'm asking you about your highlights on this. Is the Peak 34 for the race, and you've been a very integral part of the race. Do you think we value it enough as Sowetans, as South Africans, that, you can go to London and look into their races and all of that, it's their pride. You're looking into it. Do you think we as South Africans in general know what gem we have in this?
Yeah, I think part of the issue we have this year is everybody's always accustomed to the first Sunday of November being Soweto. So I think people are getting to those trends. I mean, when you see the guys coming up with hose pipes and the little brass stands and everyone cheering, the little kids coming out. So I think we are getting there. People are acknowledging and appreciating Soweto, not only from a race perspective, from an economical perspective. People that are coming to Joburg, booking hotels, booking buses, going to restaurants. I think even in Soweto and sort of the surrounds, people are really starting to feel that.
I've had, I saw one comment whereby they say, why pay 280 rands for a 10-kilometer distance? Is there a chance of bringing, of balancing the prices in line with other races?
So we didn't increase the price, the pay point this year. It's the same as last year. Look, I think these races are it is what it is in terms of the pricing. There's obviously a formula that we use to try and work out our pricing. From a cost perspective, costs go up and the sponsorship doesn't go up in proportion to the cost. So we're not saying we want to rip the runner off, but we want to try and charge the correct fee that we feel is appropriate to the race. And I think, as people go on, it's not going to increase in big increments, and we're going to obviously try and respect the runner in terms of pricing. But I think that's really where the decision comes from.
Actually, can round it up to 300 rand. I don't think they'll complain.
And then from my side, all the best for the race.
Thank you.
I know it's going to be a tough journey ahead. Not only that we must ask the tough questions, but we must also wish you luck as well.
Thank you very much.
With me here, I've got the organizer, one of the organizers, Prajabu. How are you?
I'm okay. Yourself, Roto?
The launch is almost over, and we got the glimpse of what you guys are planning ahead. But just building up from where this race is coming from. Even last night on some, there was threats that were thrown at the race. What do you make of those?
Well, unfortunately, I did not listen to the radio station that where threats were made. But the good thing about us is that we work with law enforcement agencies, be it SEPS, be it JMPD, be it private security companies. We will make sure that they are aware of all the threats that have been thrown, if there are any threats.
I mean, if you look at comrades, it's not that you guys are immune of these problems. Comrades had the same, more or less the same problems last year, but they found a way to solve them. Two Oceans, the city of Cape Town said they were not going to allow them to host the race, but if you look now, race is going ahead because I think behind the closed doors, there were discussions and agreements. Why can't we have the same with Soweto Marathon?
Well, we've always been having behind closed doors discussions, and it's not like that they're not happening. They've been happening, and if there are people that feel that they do not be part of the event, unfortunately, we cannot drag people to be part. But we've always have an open door policy to say, let us work together, let us discuss as clubs from Soweto.
And then, like from the runner's point of view, because I've run this race from late 2000s. I think 2009 was my first, if not 2008. And if you look at the threats that were thrown, are you guys going to do some sort of a risk assessment to assess some of the risks that that are coming from those threats, whereby you can assure the runners that yes, with the city and the security, we are able to come with mitigating factors to try and give you a safe race?
Well, for any event, it is a must that the organizers must sit down with law enforcement agencies and have a risk assessment plan or a risk plan from either the law enforcement agencies as well as from the organizers. So yes, we will be doing that with the law enforcement agencies, and we'll have a series of meetings with all the law enforcement agencies to ensure that we cover all angles.
From where I'm sitting, I can just throw something. Let's look at, you've got the three different routes, the 10, the 21, and the 42. If you look at, let's just say 42 kilometer route, not that I'm bad mouthing, but you pass, like let's say hostels, you pass through, and I mean, last minute you can just find people, a group of people, when maybe, let's say, the elite runners are coming with the media just to disturb that, which might being distributed to the race. So I'm just saying, are you guys prepared will you guys be prepared for such kind of threats?
Well, with the same as the past events, we've always been engaging with different communities, be it tax associations, be it businesses in Soweto, be it people that stay in gated houses, be it people that stay in the hostels. We've always had engagements with everybody. It will not be the first time this year that we'll be engaging with those. So we'll continuously have engagements with everyone involved or that will be affected in the route.
And then please just drive the message home to those who will be watching this episode as to some have already entered and they are asking, like, I'm a media person, and they will send you a WhatsApp because they've got my number. They would say, is this really happening? Is this not really happening? Can you take them into confidence? I know the media briefing did that, but can you just reiterate and drive the message home so that, I mean, people love this race. I mean, and some have been saying, I've booked I've booked my transport from I'm flying from, and I'm sleeping, and all those kind of things, and I've entered as well.
I think you said it earlier that all events in South Africa, unfortunately, will always have issues before the event happens. But I can assure the people of South Africa and the international community as well that whoever that will be coming down to run the Soweto Marathon or the African Bank Soweto Marathon 30th edition, we will ensure that we do our utmost best to ensure their safety through the law enforcement agencies, through the organizing committee, through the communities as well. And bear in mind that the community of Soweto love this event. Without the community of Soweto, we are nothing as an event, because they will always be coming out to support, be it with their hose pipes, with their ululating, or with their salt to give to runners. So we encourage people to say that the people of Soweto love this race, and they will be there as well in numbers to ensure that they support and they protect their own.
3 it's a special number in my books. You guys are going to be celebrating 30 years. I'm speaking for a guy who I ran with at one of the races in Midrand. His name is Julian Karp. He wants to do his 1000th marathon, as you will be celebrating 30 years. And African Bank will be celebrating their 50th at this race. I mean, there might be a code interdict and things like those. What do you make of such people who want, like Julian, who want to come here and celebrate the milestone and your milestone as well?
I think it will be very important, like people like Julian that you're saying he'll be running his 1000th marathon. Yeah. So that he gets in touch with the organizer, so that maybe we get a special number for him.
I mean 1,000. I mean the number 1,000.
I'm saying this under correction, but it is possible that we can get a special number for him because of if he's doing 100th marathon at this African Bank Soweto Marathon, it will also be a highlight for us as well. That as we celebrate 30 years as the event, African Bank, our sponsor, will be celebrating 50 years, and then Julian in return will be celebrating the 100th or the 1000th marathon. That will be something that will be appreciated.
Yeah, but Brajabu, I should not only ask the questions, but I know it's going to be a rocky journey going there. I cannot lie to you, but all the best in organizing the race. As a runner, I'm talking now as a runner, I would want to run the race with my fellow runners and enjoy the streets of Soweto. I'm going to go maximum, do a marathon, and then all the best, you and the team.
Thank you very much, Rotokolo, for this, and we welcome you to come and run with your camera crew on the road and capture all the most beautiful moments of the city of Johannesburg, Soweto specifically.
Most definitely. Thank you, Bafo.
Thank you. Thank you.